Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello, leader. Welcome back to the Fierce Factor podcast. It's your host, Kaylee here, and you are tuning in to episode number 225. And I'm coming in today with a little bit of a moment of reflection, and I hope some encouragement for you as you take some time to really lean into what you are building in this world. And I felt inspired to share a story of something that happened with one of our clients recently. And I'm hearing more and more conversation in the communities that I'm spending time in around the rapid changes that are happening in our industry and in the world. And there's no shortage of obvious chaos happening. The Paris Olympics are a big point of contention right now, certainly dealing with a lot of political shifts. It's an election year, the standard economic constraint and uncertainty that's happening and contraction in the economy. And in our industry in particular, a big influx of financial interest through private equity. It's sort of this domino impact that's happening. And I think we just need a moment. I feel like there is just a call to shift our perspective a little bit and to sort of reorient around who we are and what we stand for in the world. The story of what happened recently was a client of ours came to a coaching call to let me know about a situation that happened where an employee had been recruited by a private equity-backed chain med spa and basically came in with a huge inflated offer, salary, signing bonus, perks, equity in the next sale, and all of the things, right? A very attractive, very tantalizing in the moment offer. And this is happening more and more. So there's the one side of things where we're talking about, should I partner with private equity? What's the right path for me? What's my exit plan? And I think all of these are really fabulous and reasonable questions to ask yourself. Like, where am I right now and what do I want to build and where do I want to go? Particularly if you're building a business that was built around the foundation of your passion, your amazing genius at what you do, your skill, right? And it was something that you didn't really foresee or think into the future of what you're building from the infrastructure of a business. And now you're at a point where you realize, wow, this has become something and I have something really substantial here. I'm not here to impart my opinions necessarily around that and what's right for you in terms of the moves that you make in your business. But what I am here to share is just a little reminder about, regardless of how things are moving around us and the chaos that's happening in the world around us, these shifts that are happening in our industry, times are changing and they will continue to change. Tactics will change, motivations will change, people around you, society will change. But your values, what you stand for, and what you are building in this world doesn't have to change. In fact, if you are worried about having to conform, or you're concerned about the consolidation of all of these other big businesses around you because of private equity, and you're not sure how that's going to impact you in terms of your ability to compete in the marketplace, I want to assure you that the fact that you are thinking about this is a huge advantage for you. And I think it's important for us to have this conversation so that not only you feel really confident and are aware and recognize that things are happening around me, but that I feel really confident as a business owner pursuing the path that I'm on and enrolling my team into that vision, not to waffle and feel reactive about the things that are happening around us. And so I want to just chat today a little bit about what's happening and how we can continue to build the business of our dreams by staying true to our core values. So what we do know right now is that there are a lot of companies that are partnering with private equity for access to capital and funds to help their business grow and expand and innovate. And that's one way, right? One reason of partnering with or seeking out investment, be it via private equity or another route. With that might come a bigger infrastructure, a bigger ecosystem of support on the business side, people that maybe have better experience in management or can provide some strategic guidance. Companies are partnering with private equity for an increase in resources. So maybe building new infrastructure, new locations, bringing in new technology, enhancing processes, all of the stuff that's going to help them strengthen as a business. And with strong financial backing, company can scale more rapidly than if you're an original founder owner. But what we need to be aware of and help our employees understand is that when partnering with private equity, there's also a lot of other potential windfalls and other things that are happening that, just like anything in life, with the pros, there are always cons. And so there is a huge potential for a loss of control as a business owner or as an employee as you're coming into this new experience where you become essentially a piece of a big corporation. You will lose a significant amount of decision making and power to investors, because ultimately the point is you're not the boss anymore. There is another boss. There's pressure to deliver on returns. PE firms often have to expect and are expected to produce quick returns on their investment, which could lead to aggressive cost-cutting measures. And the biggest thing about that for me, as a founder who cares so much about the values that we bring into the world and the reason that we get up and do what we do, is that that can present a huge culture clash, right? Differences in management style, company culture, that can lead to conflicts in the business. And it can essentially put somebody in a situation where the beautiful thing that they work to build for years and years and years, the thing that becomes your baby, that's your heart. Or for an employee to go into a new environment where maybe a business prior to being PE backed acted and felt and had a reputation one way, that can shift. The point is that there's a tremendous focus on profit. So the primary goal of private equity is to make a financial return. And this could lead to decisions that prioritize profits over long-term sustainability and certainly over the health and wellness and well-being of its employees. And this is ultimately this whole exit strategy. That's the point. There wouldn't be an exit and there wouldn't be another sale if there wasn't a very lucrative, highly profitable, bigger business that was being built to then sell. I think it's important to be prepared to confidently reassure our team members about what they have. Somebody asked me a question on Instagram recently. How do I let my team know how good they have it without telling them how good they have it? And I thought that was really funny. And I think first we have to know how good we have it. We have to be so confident and so reassured in the fact that we're building something that can stand alone, that can be competitionless, that has its own unique place in the world, so that we can come in confidently and share that with our team. And so we help them really understand what it is that they have by being an employee with our company. I would say to help your employee understand that there are some critical factors to consider if they're looking to make a change, to move somewhere, to go work for a bigger salary, right? One would be, do you know of the financial health of this company? Just because they're coming in and presenting to you a big offer, it doesn't mean that they're going to be in business for a long time. Remember that just because the company appears to be in good financial health doesn't mean it has the means to meet debt obligations in times of economic fluctuations. So I think it's important for anybody to really know what is the financial health. Look at statements, look at financial reports, make sure that you're talking to somebody who's completely transparent about that, because I've seen time and time again, people get burned. And I think we can get too caught up in the allure of what that bigger offer is and not really understand what's right in front of us and what is the potential down the road. To that point, do you know what the expansion plans are? Learn about the company's growth strategy and how the private equity firm or the company you're working for plans to drive value and expansion, and what that will actually look like for you in your role, be it an owner or then employee of the company, or if it's a team member of yours who's looking to make a move. Where do they fit into this bigger picture? Looking into the career advancement opportunities. Are there opportunities to grow professionally within the company? Is there a growth runway for them? If that's something that you offer to your team now, be really clear and specific to help them understand that this is the pathway for you to grow. And I think those conversations should happen, obviously, from day one. The company culture. Does the company culture align with your values and work style? Will they take your personal life into consideration? Are you going to have the autonomy and flexibility? If you work for a company and you're used to leaving to take a break somewhere at lunchtime or go to Susie's recital or whatever, is that important to you? And are you going to be afforded that? Or are you working for a big corporation, in which case they'll sell you a big bag of goods and then ultimately you're going to be treated like a cog in a wheel? Remember that everything is about dollars and cents when we're talking about these big PE-backed firms, and that might leave very little room for flexibility around your own productivity. That may just really be about you and what you produce. Be prepared for massive change in the environment, including potential shifts in management and who you report to or company policies. Like, things could change literally overnight. And I would be questioning my job security, including history of restructuring or layoffs at companies that were backed by that same PE firm. What's happened, right? So want to make sure you're doing all of your due diligence. Be prepared for leadership changes. Understand any changes in key management positions might happen as a result of the investment. So you want to really do your due diligence on that, understanding who your managers are going to be, who you're reporting to, and their philosophies. And then looking into what your personal and professional goals are. All of the things that are important to you as an employee, these are going to be things that you need to really take into consideration, aside from just what the offer is from a company that is going to come show you some big bloated salary, right? So here's the deal. I think the point is, all of us, take private equity aside, are here and we're building something on this planet because we believe that it's going to make a difference for the people that we employ. It's going to make a difference for the people that we serve, our community, our customers, and for us and our own lives and our families. Regardless of what's happening around us, I think that in itself, that ambition, the dream that we have to build because we care about what we're building, is a huge competitive advantage in itself. So when you're thinking about how do I compete against this or how do I stand out, be you. Personalized service, being able to offer customer service, building strong relationships, making it about the people and not just about the dollars and cents. Agility and flexibility, being nimble, being able to make decisions quickly, setting up decision-making processes to respond faster to market changes because you have that ability to be nimble and agile and adapt to new trends and customer needs. Innovation. The bigger that a company gets, the less they're able to innovate. And that's something that, as a founder who wants to build and grow with a culture aligned with their core values, you're able to bring in unique products and services and research and innovate in a way that a big company can't do that. So if you're employing people who are aligned with that and want to be a part of the pulse of what's on the cutting edge, obviously being a part of your culture is something that's going to be a huge advantage for them. You're going to be able to maintain brand strength because it's so closely tied to what you have built as a founder, and you get to hire people who are in alignment with those core values instead of hiring people who are just looking for what they're going to make on their paycheck at the end of the year. Hire people who have a connection and deep-rooted, connected philosophy to yours. And ultimately, as the business grows, those people will grow. They will grow in their ability to advance in your company and also their ability to advance financially within your company. And there's so many other things that make you you. Remember that your strength lies in your ability to be personal, to be responsive, to be innovative, and to be the true partner to the people that you bring into your ecosystem. That a big, huge chain med spa backed by VE that has all of the financial bells and whistles will not be able to compete with that. And so that's really the core message of what to lean into. And it's really just about setting standards. At the end of the day, the question to that employee is, do you want to work for a corporation where, of course, there's a growth ladder for you, potentially, of course, there's money to be made, but you're a number? Or do you want to work for somebody who has made it their mission to invest in the growth of the people that they employ as human beings. And I take this a bit personally in the sense that I left a corporate job making a very lucrative salary to make $0 to start my own business. And so I give people out there a lot more credit. I give my employees a lot more credit because I know that they're not working any job just for the money. There's plenty of places and plenty of other careers and things to do to make more money. They're here working for the company that we have because of what we do and the mission that we're on in the world. And I need to be humble and remember that. It's not about me. It's not about the paycheck. Give them more credit and help remind them and show up as that leader who's so confident and convicted behind the mission that we're on, that everybody knows that we're not going to waver. We're going to be around and we're going to continue to show up and make the impact that we promise to the world day in and day out. And it really comes back to us in those situations when we have team members that we value. We need to not just focus on and allow them to steer that conversation around what's in it for them, and instead help them redirect to what's in it for all of us and what's in it for the company and what's in it for the world. And then we all benefit through that process. I don't want to sound like I'm a mouthpiece. Definitely pay your people well, take care of them, but a bidding war in terms of where they can go to make more money, it's just not even on the table for me. It's about setting those standards. And if you're going to be a leader and you're going to set standards, you also have to be willing to let people go if they're not going to live up to those standards. Otherwise, you don't have standards, you just have suggestions. And then you become somebody that they walk all over because they don't believe that you're going to stand behind the things that you say. And I think have less confidence in your ability as a leader to lead them along that journey and the vision that you've set forward for everybody on the team. And then the final thing I would say is I think it's important to tackle these conversations and have so much confidence in your ability to communicate with your employees around what is important to them as employees in your company, so that the first time you are having this conversation isn't when they're getting an offer from someone else. That conversation is, I already know what path we're on and I know what the potential is for me. And so it's just a matter of reassuring and then also reassuring yourself and deciding we're at a crossroads where I get to decide if this is a right fit for me. Times will change, but your values don't have to. And I want you to remember that. All right, Goddess, that's all I have for you today. I hope that this gives you just some things to think about and hopefully a little nudge to sit down and have those really important conversations with your team about the mission that you're on and what the vision is for you all for the future, because you have a huge competitive advantage and you will take your team there if you stand up and work to become that leader who's capable of leading them to the final destination. Thanks so much. I'll see you same time, same place next week. Listen, leader, if you're vibing with me here, hang tight because I have a brand new resource for you. You are a successful, confident, powerful woman who just isn't into being average. No, you have a calling, and part of that calling is requiring you to level up. And I know that if you're working to cross the next $1 million milestone in your business, you need to be in the right circles. And perhaps that's why you found us. I'd love to invite you to join The Blueprint, a weekly resource for inspired, provocative thinkers who are taking this conversation to the next level. Get access to free business tools, podcast supplements, guideposts, and direct communication with me and my expert team. And of course, a masterfully curated circle of women making big moves and disrupting the status quo in aesthetics and wellness. You can link directly through the show notes or head to klcconsultants.com/blueprint. It's time to elevate. See you there, Goddess.